Welcome back to the 2-minute warning. Today I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and discussing what to expect from them in 2021. But before getting into that topic, question for the video, of course. As many of you know, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won the most recent Super Bowl, but the Buccaneers have one more Super Bowl win in franchise history back in 2002. And the question is, who was the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their 2002 Super Bowl win? If you know the answer, comment it below. If you do not worry, I will reveal the answer at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. But getting into the topic, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I got high hopes for them in 2021. However, there are a lot of question marks, mainly around free agency. Yes, there's the NFL draft and the regular season as well, but free agency is one of the biggest sparks that will determine where the Buccaneers will go in 2021. Looking at who's on the free agent list of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all these players of the following will be NFL or free agents for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers: Suh, Levante David, Shaq Bear, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and so on and so forth. And that Chris Godwin, of course, as well, your top receiver on the Bucs team, arguably, or number 2. And really, the Buccaneers have a decent cap situation, but it's very unlikely for them to sign everyone and everything. It has been very known that they want to sign Chris Godwin back. However, in my opinion, Chris Godwin is a one piece you should be okay with letting go, because I think the Buccaneers will be able to keep Rob Gronkowski because he only wants to play with Tom. I think they could keep Antonio Brown because I think he also only wants to play with Tom. So you're looking at a receiving core that would have still Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller, Tyron Johnson, and really Chris Godwin, of course, is an important piece to the Buccaneers, but I don't think he's going to be worth the $14-15 million the Buccaneers would have to pay them. I say they let him walk, focus that $14-15 million elsewhere. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that happened. I think they will negotiate and work things out, and I think Chris Godwin will be back. And I want him back under a certain price, but I don't want to overpay for him when your receiving core is already stacked. Leonard Fournette, we know he's very important playoff Lenny for our playoff run and Super Bowl run this past year. However, I don't know what kind of paycheck he's going to be looking for. A big question of all these free agents is, do they want to try and chase another ring, or do they want a big paycheck? And really, you can't go wrong either way if you're that guy. It's just a personal opinion, and that is really what's going to determine who comes in, who goes. Even if Leonard Fournette walks, I think Ronald Jones, Rojo, is a very efficient back for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who's still on a cheap contract and is still very young and can progress furthermore. So, again, I want Chris Godwin back and I want Leonard Fournette back, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense is very viable without them. Looking at the defense, I think the Buccaneers they haven't really said anything. Free agency hasn't even started, but I think it's known that they're okay with losing Levante David, pretty much the captain of that front 7 on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, because they know they have 22-year-old star linebacker Devin White to kind of rise up and take his place as captain. As much as I like Devin White, I think he will take that captain role he will serve that captain role greatly. I still want to keep Levante David. I think he's just the bread and butter of that defense that just keeps everything together. And then Shaq Bear, of course, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's just got one with the Bucs, and he won with the 2016 Denver Broncos that beat the Carolina Panthers. So he's already said he's chasing the money now. Yeah, Super Bowl rings is a plus, but he's chasing money now over a championship. So therefore, I think he's going to break the bank and sign somewhere big. I think the Buccaneers really have to choose between some of the big guys, such as Chris Godwin or Shaq Barrett. You're only going to be able to keep both, or only be able to keep one, and not both, because they'll both be looking for a big paycheck. I understand by the players, but the Buccaneers are not going to be pulling off signing everyone. And then Ndamukong Suh as well. He spoke out that he wants to play for another championship and come back to the Bucs. I think he'll play not on a complete discount, but on a cheaper contract. He knows he's at the end of his career, and he knows he's not the same guy he used to be. I think he'll play on a contract the Buccaneers can definitely afford. So overall, I think we'll come away with some of the bigger stars. I still think we might lose Leonard Fournette. However, we still got Rojo. I think we might lose Chris Godwin, but we still got Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski. We might actually lose him, but if we do, like I said, we still got a good receiving core. We might lose Shaq Barrett, but we still got JPP, Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh, and hopefully William Golston off the bench. A lot of options for the Buccaneers, and they might be able to restructure some contracts. They might release Cameron Brate. They might release O.J. Howard. They might release Donovan Smith to free up money, and so therefore they can re-sign a Chris Godwin or Shaq Barrett. Either way, no matter who they lose or what they lose, the NFL draft is where they can really replace him. If they lose Chris Godwin, look at Kadarius Toney from the Florida Gators to maybe replace him if you're not set on just Evans, Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Scotty Miller, and more. Look at Kadarius Toney. Like I said, if you lose Shaq Bear, look at a top pass rusher in the NFL draft. If you lose a running back, look at Najee Harris or Trey Sermon or Travis Etienne. There is a lot of options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I really do not fear them losing the NFL free agents. A lot of guys want to play with Tom Brady. He's got eyes on 8, and who wouldn't want to try and be a part of that possible dynasty in the making? So I do think the Buccaneers will establish this very well in free agency in the NFL draft. And in my opinion, if I had to pick right now, I do have the Buccaneers going back to the Super Bowl. Yes, there's the Green Bay Packers. Yes, there's the LA Rams. Yes, there's the San Francisco 49ers that are getting healthy. Yes, there's the Chicago Bears that might trade for Russell Wilson. There are a lot of options for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, or a lot of threats for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, but I don't see I don't want to say a real issue for them, but I just think if they get this team back and most of their free agents back, fix what they missed in the NFL draft, this team, I don't want to say is unstoppable, but you have the greatest quarterback of all time who has a good head coach, a good receiving core, a good offensive line, and Tristan Wirfs, as we know, a solid backfield, and an amazing defense in the NFL. I think the Rams and Packers and 49ers, like I said, are all going to be serious threats, but all in all, if I had to put my money on it, say I'm biased or not, yes, I'm a Buccaneers fan, I just think they have one of the most stacked rosters in the NFL if they can handle everything. And really, a lot of their success came from their coaching staff, like I said, in Bruce Arians, but in their offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, their defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles. Both those guys are going to come back. They're not going to move on to head coaching jobs, and really, they created a lot of success. If they're coming back, they can do it again. I know Super Bowl repeats aren't hard, but one guy to be able to pull it off is Tom Brady. Like I said, he's got eyes on 8. I think he could seriously get there, and if I had to put money, like I said, I think he will get there. Matt Stafford and the Rams. I want Stafford to do good for the Rams, but I'm never going to root for him over the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers get bumped out, I'll root for the Rams all the way just because I hope that thing clicks for the Rams and Stafford. But even then, if they face each other, quarterback matchup, I got Brady over Stafford. Coaching, yeah, I like Sean McVay straight up over Bruce Arians, but coaching staff, I like Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles over Sean McVay and his coaching staff. He's lost a little bit of pieces, such as Brandon Staley to the LA Chargers. So overall coaching staff, I go with Buccaneers. Receiving core, toss up, but depending how free agency goes, the Buccaneers do have the better receiving core over the Rams if they get a lot of those guys back. Running game, I might probably go with Cam Akers over Rojo, but it's debatable. On the defense, I'm not going to be biased. Obviously, the Rams are probably better on defense with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, but either way, I just like the Buccaneers where they can match up against every team. There's not a single team where there's like a huge mismatch. Even our secondary is finally getting a little bit better, as you've seen with Antoine Winfield Jr., one of the top safeties as a rookie. He's doing great, and the secondary is only going to get better, especially if we address it in the draft. This defense could stand with any team, such as the Rams, even the Niners with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner or Richard Sherman if they re-sign them. This Buccaneers defense, I feel like we don't talk about it enough. I think it can arguably be a top 5 defense in the NFL if we keep a lot of the same pieces. And even if not, under Todd Bowles' defense, if it's anything like last year, it's going to succeed and only get better. And I do think this Buccaneers team will go back to the Super Bowl. I think they'll win the NFC South now that Drew Brees and the Saints are Drew Brees is probably going to retire and the Saints are no longer a threat. Now that the Atlanta Falcons of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are probably always a team that you can never count out. But in recent seasons, there have been nothing, and the Panthers with Teddy Bridgewater are not a threat at all, in my opinion. Now, if Deshaun Watson's thrown in and traded into the Carolina Panthers, or he's traded to the San Francisco Niners, that definitely throws a wrench into things and switches up everything and all these predictions. But as of right now, looking at the Buccaneers and looking at the other teams, of course, I don't think we'll get there easily by any means, but I do think the Buccaneers will win their division, so they'll have some home games in the playoffs. I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers aren't going to do a lot of free agency. The Rams, they can't do a whole lot in free agency. They don't have a lot of cap space. They lost a couple defensive coordinators, and they don't have a first-round draft pick. And the Buccaneers, the only thing really stopping them from changing teams is free agency, and even then, I think a lot of guys will come back and play on incentive contracts and discounts, and a lot of other guys renegotiate. I think the future's bright for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I seriously think they will go back-to-back Super Bowls. If they will win, that's really early to predict right now because I don't know who they'll face, but either way, I do have them going back. I just think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL, and of course, the overall simplified answer is they have the greatest quarterback of all time on their team. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, what they should do in free agency, what they should do in the NFL draft, how far they will go next year, just overall, what do you expect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2021? Like I said, let me know down below. But for your question of the day, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like I said, won the Super Bowl in 2002. Who was the starting quarterback back then? It is, of course, Brad Johnson, who has himself, like Tom Brady, had a great defense to back on as well. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.